All right, folks, buckle up, because we're diving into the epic saga of Led Zeppelin's Kashmir, that thunderous beast of a song that sneaks into your brain like a sneaky ninja and refuses to leave. You know the one, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, and suddenly you're air drumming in traffic, pretending you're John Bonham reincarnated. Even if you're one of those hipsters who swears they've never heard it, come on. It's been blasting from car stereos, movie trailers, and that one uncle's barbecue playlist since 1975. It's the kind of tune that makes you feel like you're trekking across a desert on a camel that's secretly a time machine. And today we're cracking it open like a piñata full of rock and roll secrets, obscure trivia, and enough laughs to make your abs hurt. By the end, you'll be humming it louder than ever. Or at least chuckling at how this song tricked the world into thinking Led Zepp were geography buffs. Let's kick this off with the spark that ignited Kashmir, because every legend has a messy origin story, and this one's got more twists than a pretzel in a hurricane. Picture this. It's 1973. Led Zeppelin's just wrapped up a monster US tour where they're basically gods on stage, selling out arenas and leaving fans in puddles of awe. Jimmy Page, the guitar wizard with hair like a lion's mane, is tinkering in his home studio, probably surrounded by mystic tomes and a fog of incense. Because, let's face it, Page was the original goth kid with a PhD in the occult. He stumbles onto this riff, tuned in that exotic dadgad open tuning that makes your guitar sound like it's whispering ancient secrets. It's hypnotic, relentless, like a caravan marching through endless sands. Enter John Bonham, Bonzo, the drum beast, who lays down a beat in 4/4 time while the riff grooves in 3/4, creating this polyrhythmic magic that shouldn't work, but somehow does. It's like your heart beating out of sync with your brain after too much coffee. They jam it out and boom, the backbone of Kashmir is born. But wait, where do the words come from? That's where Robert Plant struts in, fresh from a soul-searching road trip through Morocco's Sahara desert with Page. No, not the actual Kashmir in India or Pakistan, they never even set foot there. Plant's driving this barren, endless highway from Agadir down to Sidi Ifni, the road stretching forever like a bad blind date that won't end. The landscape's a wasteland, scorching sun, no turns, just mirages and the occasional goat giving you side-eye. Plant later said it felt like the wastelands of despair, but in a poetic way, not like your Monday morning commute. He's scribbling lyrics about pilots of the storm, shapeshifters and talking to the sun, stuff that sounds like he chugged a potion from Page's alchemy kit. The meaning? It's not a protest song or some deep geopolitical rant. It's a metaphor for life's journey, the endless quest for enlightenment, or whatever floats your spiritual boat. Plant called it the definitive Led Zeppelin song, and Page agreed, saying it captured their essence, bombastic, exotic, and a tad pretentious. Fun fact, the working title was Driving to Kashmir, which sounds like a rejected GPS app. Imagine if they'd kept that. Your playlist would have directions instead of destiny. Oh, and here's a pun to chew on. If Kashmir was about fabric, it'd be the softest hard rock song ever, like a cashmere sweater that headbangs. But seriously, what if Bonham had tripped over his drum kit during that jam? We'd have Kashmir as a polka instead. Talk about a cultural catastrophe. Fast forward to the album Shenanigans, because Kashmir didn't just pop out fully formed, it marinated like a fine wine, or more accurately, like a keg at a backstage party. By 1974, Led Zepp are holed up at Headley Grange, this creaky old mansion in England that's basically a rock star's haunted Airbnb. They're recording what would become Physical Graffiti, their 6th album, and a double-disc monster, because one LP wasn't enough to contain their egos or their excess tracks. Kashmir gets fleshed out here. John Paul Jones, the unsung hero with the moustache of wisdom, arranges these sweeping string and brass sections. He hires a full orchestra, but get this, they record it separately at Olympic Studios in London, because cramming violins into a drafty Grange would have been like herding cats in a thunderstorm. The result? This Eastern-flavored epic clocks in at over 8 minutes, blending rock with Moroccan vibes, Indian scales, and a dash of Middle Eastern mystery. It's like if the Beatles' sitar phase met a heavy metal sandstorm. Release day rolls around in February 1975, and Physical Graffiti drops like a bomb, straight to number 1, because duh, it's Zepp. But the Shenanigans? Oh boy. The band launches their own label, Swan Song Records, with a logo that's basically a fallen angel or Icarus on a bad day, fitting for rock gods who flew too close to the sun. Promotion includes an infamous party at Chislehurst Caves in England, where they recreate a medieval feast with jesters, acrobats, and probably more substances than a pharmacy. Kashmir isn't a single, too long for radio, but it becomes the album's crown jewel. Trivia time. The album cover features a New York tenement building with cut-out windows showing band members and celebs like Neil Armstrong and Lee Harvey Oswald. Obscure. One window has a pic of the band's manager Peter Grant dressed as a nun, because why not? Ripple effect. Physical Graffiti sells millions, cements Zepp as arena rock kings, and inspires every band after to go epic or go home. Quick aside for a laugh. If Zeppelin named albums after their recording vibes, this one would have been Physical Graffiti. We had too many songs in a haunted house. What if Jones's orchestra went on strike? Kashmir becomes an a cappella folk tune. Imagine Plant yodeling over bongos. Satirical swipe. In today's world, it'd be a TikTok trend, with influencers lip-syncing while hiking actual Kashmir, captioning "channeling my inner plant, now at desert vibes." Now let's talk rise to mythic status, where Kashmir goes from album track to cultural juggernaut, dodging controversies like a pro wrestler. First off, no major lawsuits here, unlike Stairway to Heaven, which had that whole backward-masking Satan panic or plagiarism drama. Kashmir stays clean, but it stirs up its own chaos. Fans mishear lyrics constantly. Is it "let the sun beat down upon my face" or "let the sun beat down upon my faith"? Occult rumors swirl because Page was into Aleister Crowley, so people think it's a spell disguised as a song. Plant shuts that down, saying it's just about wanderlust. But hey, if it gets you pondering life's mysteries while head-banging, mission accomplished. Culturally, this song ripples like a stone in a pond, if the stone was a boulder and the pond was the entire music industry. It fuses East and West, paving the way for world music in rock. Think later stuff like Peter Gabriel, or even modern bands like Tool. In movies, it's everywhere. Cameron Crowe's Almost Famous uses it for that epic bus sing-along. Fast Times at Ridgemont High blasts it during a dream sequence. Hell, it even hyped the 2012 Olympics reunion. Hip-hop samples it. Puff Daddy, or Diddy, or whatever he's calling himself now, turns it into "Come With Me" for the Godzilla soundtrack in '98, which Plant hated at first but later cashed the check. Trivia nugget: Schoolie D sampled it in '86 for Signifying Rapper, leading to a brief beef, but Zepp let it slide after royalties. Ripple on culture. It becomes shorthand for epic adventure, video games, ads, even NASA playlists for Mars rovers. But the controversy. Purists gripe about overplay, calling it Zepp's Stairway sequel. Satirical jab. In a world of auto-tuned pop, Kashmir is the grumpy grandpa yelling, "Get off my riff!" What if scenario for giggles? Imagine Zeppelin performing it in actual Kashmir. Geopolitical meltdown ensues, but the crowd surfs on camels. Self-roast. As your narrator, if I tried singing it, it'd sound like a cat in a blender. Respect to Plant's golden pipes. Diving into legacy and lasting weirdness, because Kashmir didn't fade. It evolved into a rock immortal, spawning weird offspring like a mad scientist's experiment. Plant's called it his favorite Zepp tune, saying it captures the band's wanderlust soul. Page deems it their pinnacle, with that orchestral swell proving they weren't just blues thieves, but innovators. Live? They played it at every gig from '75 to '80, except one in '77 due to Plant's sore throat. Trivia, Chicago show, fans cited mildly. the 2007 reunion at O2 Arena. Kashmir closes the set, with Jason Bonham on drums honoring his dad, tearjerker moment. Weirdness abounds. Covers range from orchestral versions by the London Philharmonic to jazz takes by Fish. It's in The Simpsons, South Park mocks it, and even inspired a Kashmir goat farm ad. Okay, I made that up, but it should. Cultural ripple. Boosted interest in Moroccan tourism. People trek the Sahara blasting it on headphones. Obscure trivia. The phasing effect on Bonham's drums was accidental, from tape machine wow and flutter, but they kept it for that trippy vibe. Legacy? It taught rock that length doesn't matter if the journey's epic, paving way for prog metal epics. In today's streaming era, it's an algorithm darling, popping up in epic rock playlists next to Hans Zimmer scores. Pun break. Kashmir endures because it's not just a song, it's a Kashmir hit, soft on the ears, tough on the competition. What if AI wrote it? Let the bots beat down upon my code. Nah, lacks soul. Satirical swipe. Modern bands try replicating it but end up with TikTok to nowhere. All right, rock pilgrims, we've traversed the deserts of Zepp lore, laughed at the absurdities, and unearthed trivia that'll win you bar bets. Kashmir isn't just music. It's a portal to adventure, a reminder that the road goes ever on, even if it's a Moroccan highway disguised as Himalayan mystique. If this tale hooked you harder than Page's Riff, smash that like button. Subscribe for more rock deconstructions that'll make your inner historian giggle, and drop a comment. What's your wildest Kashmir memory? Was it blasting it on a road trip or mishearing lyrics at 3 a.m? Until next time, keep wandering, keep rocking, and remember, life's journey might be endless, but the playlist never has to be. Peace out with a bang, da-da-da-dum.